Where'd you get these? 1 2 1 2. Too loud? Not loud enough. 1 2. How's it sound in the back? Jesse says it sounds good. All right, welcome to Jacket Nation Live, episode 7, brought to you by Farm Bureau. I want to thank everybody for coming out. Another great crowd here at Locos. We want to thank Locos for having us. This is 2 weeks in a row. Last week it was pretty short notice. They were able to get us all fixed on Sunday afternoon, ready for Monday night. So we want to thank Locos and the great servers, the great food, and definitely want to tip our hat to Locos. Tonight's show should be a good one. We've got former Arkansas Razorback and Lamar Warrior great Blake Kern. We've got his much better half, his wife Haley Hink Kern, former homecoming queen, will be here. We got QB1 tonight. QB1 from the 2005 team, Kelby Bonds, will be on the show tonight. And Coach DeFran and the football players, and we'll talk about a great game last Friday night and the games coming up this week. It is homecoming week at Clinton. This will be the 84th homecoming in Clinton High School history. The first one was in 1939. They've had one every year except for 1943 and 1944 due to World War II. So the 84th annual homecoming at Clinton High School. And in honor of that, Ms. Hutchins will come up and give you the schedule for this week. Homecoming activities are something every day, and then Friday and Saturday are really big. So I'm going to turn it over to the fixer.
Hello, thanks for having me, and thank you guys for coming. We were really excited about the possibilities from this show, and to see how far it's come and how much it's grown has really been a testimony to our community and the school and how much support you guys show to us. But we do have a busy week coming up with homecoming. We started off today with Pajama Day. In case you saw some people around town, students, staff members wearing their pajamas, I even rolled into Subway today to pick up a sandwich in my pajamas. So we have a lot of things going on this week for high school. The dress-up days tomorrow will be All-American Denim Day. Zip into the spirit and wear your denim proud. Wednesday is Boots, Bling, and Hall of Fame. Think CMA red carpet. Thursday is the Great Betrayal Day, Trader Day, so you can wear the school colors from another school. And then Friday, of course, we have There's No Place Like Home, wearing black and gold. On Friday, we have a lot of things going on. 12:30, we'll kick off with our homecoming ceremony pep rally, with the ceremony starting at 12:45. The parade at 3:30. Make sure that you take some time, spend some time downtown, and watch all of the floats coming through. I know we've had a lot of planning. Ashley Newland has worked really hard to really grow the parade, and so we're excited to see all of the floats that are going to be in it. The evening ceremony lineup starts at 6:15, with the ceremony beginning at 6:30. And then, of course, we have kickoff for the football game at 7. We'll be facing the Dover Pirates. The homecoming dance is not until Saturday, so that is from 7 to 10 on Saturday. So we hope that you're making plans to come out and join us for all of our homecoming festivities. Thank you.
So to get that right, you could wear the colors of another school this week?
That is correct.
Will anybody in this room be wearing red and white?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if they'll do that.
Yeah, red and white's off the list this week.
Right, but it'll be fun to see. I know personally, Harper, we dug out my old Letterman jacket from my Greer Sperry days, so it's fun to see what the kids come up with.
All right, that's homecoming this week. All events all during the week. Big game on Friday night with the Dover Pirates. Homecoming before the game. 2005 team at halftime, and the big dance on Saturday night. If you've been watching the social media, those homecoming proposals are pretty cool. And kids are pretty creative. Want to mention you need to get your ticket from Kara. Farm Bureau door prizes, be giving those out at the end of the show tonight. So if you don't have your ticket, be sure to see Kara. She's right over here. Want to mention the tennis team. This was day one of the state tennis tournament. Both of our doubles teams won twice today. And they'll be in the semifinals tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. So give Coach Johnson, the tennis team, a big hand. Semifinals at 10. Hopefully they'll be in the championship after that. We'll be visiting with the tennis team in the next week or two once they get through. Tomorrow night is also a senior night for volleyball. We have one senior this year. Come on out tomorrow night for volleyball. It'll be, I guess, the final home match of the season. Thursday, the junior high team goes to Dover. And then, of course, we have homecoming here on Friday. And I believe cross country is also on the road. Where y'all at tomorrow, cross country? Ball Knob tomorrow for cross country. So, and make your plans. I believe the district cross country is going to be at the Oath Ranch, and that may be the coolest place ever to have a cross country meet. You can sit up on the hill and watch the whole race at one time. Most of the time you go to a cross country meet, you either got to get at the middle or the end, and that's all you can see. So the district will be at the Oath Ranch this year, and you can watch the entire race up high. All right, let's start out. First guest tonight, Blake Kern, former Arkansas Razorback and Lamar Warrior. Blake's with us. Blake, you may have seen him around town. Blake's a Clinton resident now. Tell us how you enjoy living here.
Yeah, so Clinton's an awesome spot. You got the lake and all that. My wife, Haley, she's from here, grew up here. But I grew up in Lamar, which is about an hour, 30 minutes west of here. And we met in college and came back here, loved it in college. Now that we're out, work around here, do a little bit of remodel, residential construction. And I love it. Love it.
That's awesome. Yeah, we've seen Blake around town some,
Yep.
and him and Haley are now back home, part of the community. Tell a little bit about growing up in Lamar.
Yeah, so, Lamar and Clinton, they have a lot of similarities, size-wise, classification in football, culture, things like that. And me and Coach Dufresne, we talk all the time at the barbershop. Whenever you have the culture in place, for as long as he's been here, and Lamar the same way, tenured guys that understand what it means to the community to have something that brings the community together. It's awesome, and it's awesome that Coach Dufresne offers that. And it's a privilege for us to sit back and watch what he kind of the fruits of his labor through all these years. It's really cool, and like in a community, some places don't have that. Obviously we know of some of the places you just don't have that camaraderie and everybody's working together, and it's special here. It really is.
This is the first time Blake's been on the show, but a few weeks ago I introduced Judson Smith, the basketball coach. He's from Heber Springs, and I said, how's it the transition from Heber to here? And there were a lot of boos in the crowd. And I introduced Jace Powers, who's from down the road from you. He's the volleyball coach. He's from Dover.
Yeah.
All claps.
Right.
Sounds like they like Lamar, too.
Right. Yeah.
No boos for Lamar, so that's good. Now, Blake kind of reminds me a lot of the former Clinton Yellow Jacket, Dan Doty. Dan was before your time. He played for Houston Nutt in the early 2000s. Dan came through Clinton. Dan wanted to be a Razorback, didn't have a scholarship, walked on, never saw the field until his junior redshirt season. And that's a lot like your story. Tell the kids about that.
Yeah, so grew up, didn't have any offers coming out of high school, but went to football camp up at the U of A for a couple years strong, and Barry Lunny, which is a defensive coordinator in the Big Ten now, but he was my tight end coach, and he just kind of trusted me, knew that I was raw, and I came from a small town, didn't have a lot of opportunity to get seen. But yeah, whenever he gave me the opportunity, and anything's possible. Even coming from a small town, you just get your foot in the door somewhere and you put some stuff on film, and who knows, especially in today's transfer portal world, all the guys get caught up in offers and getting looked at, and being able to have like a networking system that they can't really control. But especially in college football nowadays, you get your foot in the door somewhere and you put some stuff on film, and it's just totally different than what I grew up in. I did walk on at the U of A. He gave me the opportunity, and after 2.5 years, got put on scholarship, and the rest is history. But going up there, obviously dream school, wanted to go and had the opportunity to, and then whenever all that stuff pays off at the end, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I failed to mention Blake in high school. They went during Blake's time at Lamar High School. They were 28 wins, 8 losses, and 5 playoff games. He had a good career. And Lamar has a good program.
Yeah. Traditionally, especially the classes before me and the classes after me, there's always that little bit of home, and Lamar came up here and Clinton did what they did. But it was cool. I did go see my coaches, and they're all still there. It's still intact, and it seems like it was whenever I left. So it was really cool. And like I said, the culture that is built at both locations is kind of something that you look for, especially young. You look for a place to live, and Clinton's got it all.
Well, Blake goes to Fayetteville. He signs or walks on in 2016. They redshirt him. He doesn't get into a game until 2018. I did my homework here.
Yeah.
And by 2019, though, he played in 12 Razorback games that season. And by 2020, the COVID hit him. That's another interesting question, 2020. They played 10 games. He started 5 of those in 2020. And then by 2021, all your hard work paid off as you appeared in all 13 games that season. Talk about starting not seeing the field for about 3 years, how tough that was.
Yeah, just weathering the storm, honestly. Like me, whenever I went in, I was 6'4", 225 pounds, playing in the SEC. I would get hurt out there. So after 2 years of hard work in the weight room and everything else, they put the trust in me, and they'd seen that I'd been putting in the time. And that was really rewarding.
Talk about that COVID year also. That was really strange. 10 games, all conference, not a whole lot of fans at the games. That had to be different.
Yeah, so COVID it obviously touches every aspect of the program on the Hill. And college football in general, like you said, nobody playing in the stands. It's just kind of awkward going on the road and not being able to have a sellout packed crowd in the SEC is definitely a weird. But after COVID, everybody was just thirsty for some football, and that really helped. Got an extra year out of it, which is probably not going to ever happen again. So, yeah, it was definitely a unique experience, but it was cool at the same time.
Now, he also saw some of the cathedrals of college football: LSU, Alabama, Ole Miss, Auburn. 70, 80, 100,000 people in the stands.
Yeah.
What's that like coming from Lamar?
Yeah, obviously, high school football. You can obviously, in certain aspects of the country, you get a little bit closer to college football the farther you get from Arkansas. But Arkansas football is still competitive, and you do have some hometown pride. But whenever you go on the road in the SEC, it was definitely a unique experience. I always like going on the road because you do see places that you've never seen before. You're going to a city in the Southeastern Conference that usually the population will fit inside the stadium, and then you got 100,000 people in there, and they're all against you. It's pretty cool to be a part of.
Talk about some of your favorite memories. I know you had a touchdown against Alabama on a trick play.
Yep.
Talk about some of your most favorite memories of being a Razorback.
Yeah, so obviously the trick play against Alabama, that was number one. And then two, I just always I always like going on the road. Because you take 105 guys with you, and that's all you got, and you're kind of just getting into a brawl, and then you get to fly home after, and you're either happy or you're not. But still, you're halfway across the country playing college football. You don't get to do that often.
Blake got to end his career, too, in the Outback Bowl with a win over Penn State. Talk about that.
Yeah, so we went to Tampa. Family, everybody got to go down there for that one. That was really cool. That was post-COVID, so that was kind of the first time that everybody got to truly travel for the away games. And went down to Tampa and got to play where the Tampa Bay Bucks play, and it was a great experience. Getting the win, that was cool too.
Now, another thing on Blake's resume, and you can probably talk about your high school academics also, but you were two-time All-SEC academic honor roll. Yep. Talk about the pride you took in that, and a lot of our young people out here want to play college sports, but they forget the part. You got to really budget your time to do both the academics and the on-field stuff.
Yeah,
Talk about what it took to be on the academic honor roll in the SEC.
Yeah, just dedication and time management. School's hard, not playing football. So whenever you want to go do the collegiate athlete and want to compete on the highest level, at any level, really, it's going to take a little bit extra than the average student that goes out. And, they can work, they can find jobs, they can do that. You can't as an athlete. And it's important now in high school. This is all, they're looking at that. When you talk to people that want to go play at the next level, and it's like a classification of what they're looking for on a daily basis. They'll go around to your preacher, to your nurse. How do you handle people? How do you communicate with people? Is he on time? Is he things like that? It all adds up, and school is the biggest part of it. Whenever they start thinking about who they want into their program, culturally, they want you to do the right thing, and they're gonna see if you can do it.
All right, kids, listen up. This may be the most important question. Blake comes from a small town just like Clinton. Talk to the kids here on what a small town kid can do. They can follow in your footsteps and make it to the big time. Talk about that. Even from a small town, you can make it.
Yeah, well, I just think the number one thing is to have a vision that it is possible. The longer you kick the can down the road thinking it's not possible, you're not really getting anywhere. It's all possible. You just got to be doing the right thing at all times. And somebody's going to notice and give you an opportunity, and then whenever you get that opportunity coming from a small town, it means more to you than it would for somebody that has been given the opportunity their whole life and kind of handed the silver platter. Let's say you're from Clinton, under-recruited, get the opportunity, go make something of it. The rest is history.
I got two last questions. One, I got to get your thoughts on the Clinton-Lamar football game this year.
I was in attendance. Didn't go real good for Lamar, which kudos to Coach Dufresne. That's a big win. Meant a lot to me. Just living in Clinton now, and then seeing kind of the product that Lamar brought, and then what Clinton brought. Everybody can get up for a big game like that, And it was exciting for me as a transplant to Clinton, especially for my high school team to come back here. That was really cool.
Did you play for Coach Jones?
I did. Coach Jones was my coach there whenever I played, and that whole staff is still intact from whenever I played. So it was cool to catch up with them guys.
Yeah, Coach Jones is a great guy from all the dealings that I've had with him, and really a good guy. My second question is, can you outfish your father-in-law?
I can't. That guy, he hunts and fishes for a living, and he does help me at work. And I know I'm taking time away from what he loves, but Scott, he's a He's a hell of an outdoorsman. He really is.
Definitely true, yep. If you need a little fishing tip, Scott is right back there. He'll take care of you.
Yep.
And I think Blake is truly a transplant because look at his hat.
Yep.
Got that Clinton Yellow Jacket hat on. So we want to thank Blake for coming tonight, and we're going to have him back for some more shows too. You're welcome. Blake Kern. Up next, Haley Hinckern. If you don't know, Haley is Blake's wife, and so I got a little disclaimer out here, though. Me and Haley are cousins. My grandmother and her grandfather, brother and sister, but there was 17 of them, so some other people in the audience may also be our cousins, too. So there were a lot of kids.
Yes, there was.
Haley was a former Yellow Jacket athlete in about 3 different sports, I think, also homecoming queen, so we're going to get your thoughts about that. Talk about growing up in Clinton when you did and how you think that prepared you for the college and the future.
Yeah, it's a very tight-knit community. Some of my best friends I went to high school with and intermediate school and all that, so, you know, it's just tight-knit community and it's family. So taught you kind of when you go to college and it's so big, you miss it. So I'm glad to be back and be back with a lot of my friends, so it's a great community.
I always ask the kids that come back from college. I see some here tonight. I see Sydney and Jared back. I think they're on fall break from Fayetteville. But when I interview them, I always ask them, did Clinton High School prepare you for college?
Yeah, it for sure did. I was going to with college with people that were, went to huge high schools, 600 people. And I said, I went to school with 64 people I graduated with, and people always thought that was crazy. But I got my degree, so I think, everything worked out perfect.
And the teachers and the classes were
yes.
great.
Yeah, it was a lot bigger for sure, but yeah, it prepared me.
Talk about your sports career and the sports you played and all through high school.
Yeah, I played basketball and softball and some track when, everyone, I think junior high, maybe 7th grade, but mainly softball and basketball were my sports. We had a pretty good team a couple years in softball, and basketball we were pretty good too. Regional champions a couple years, I think, in basketball, and softball we won conference a couple times, but we competed against some good teams, so we never made it super far into state or anything, but it was always fun. I'll always remember those memories.
Haley's missing the big one. She was state champion, Clinton Queen Bees,
Yes,
8 and under.
Yes, I was. I forgot about that.
She forgot about that
State
one.
champion, yeah.
I had a
Long
cousin.
time ago.
We had some more cousins on that team.
Yes,
But
we
yeah,
did.
8 and under, the Queen
Yeah.
Bees. And I see Coach DeFran shaking his head back there.
Yeah.
Yep. See, I do all the homework. We go way back here.
Yes.
You can't get anything past us. Talk about your basketball days. I got to get your best Coach Cooper story.
Oh gosh, I had a lot of good Coach Cooper stories. I don't know. We used to have to practice. I don't know if they still do it in the Walker gym. No air conditioning at the time. I don't know if they still do. But just if we'd lose those 5, 4, 3, 2, 1s, they'd kill us. And Coach Cooper would just run us to death. But we were always in good shape. So Coach Cooper was a great coach, and I still see him at church all the time. So he's a great guy.
That's great. Walker Fieldhouse now has air conditioning. These kids are really soft now.
Of course. And we had our practice in the middle of the day, so we'd just be sweaty all day. There was no showers. We'd just be sweaty all day. We were used to it, though. It toughened us up.
Now, one of the highlights, I guess, of your high school career, you were the homecoming queen. This is homecoming week here at Clinton High School. Talk about that experience, being the homecoming queen.
I think it was really awesome. It was something that I always had seen all the older people, be crowned queen, and I always thought, that'd be cool. But I think it was just a good representation of our town, and just getting to go out there and represent it was always just a dream of mine. So it was really awesome to do that.
That's great. And then you go on to the University of Arkansas. Talk about what you did, what you majored in there.
Yeah, so I majored in marketing. I was a Zeta at Arkansas, so got to do all the sorority stuff. Highly recommend if you rush at Arkansas, I can always write a recommendation letter for you. But Arkansas was amazing. Obviously, the football games were so fun with my husband, former boyfriend playing. So those are always some of the best memories. You know, going to all the stadiums. I traveled to a lot of them, not all of them, but traveled to most of SEC stadiums with them. So it was really fun.
Yeah, I was going to say, the students like to go to the games and go on the road. You kind of had a different look to dating a player.
Yeah. It was fun. I went to LSU, Ole Miss, a lot of the big ones. I wasn't at the Alabama game where the big touchdown happened, but I was watching it on TV, so wish I would have went to that one.
Yeah, the younger crowd may not know, Blake, there was a fake punt, fake field goal pass to Blake. Blake played tight end, and they passed to Blake Kern for a touchdown against Nick Saban at Alabama. Stunned I guess it quietened the crowd that night.
Yeah.
And so you can still see that. Go on to YouTube, you can still see that. Same thing I asked Blake, talk about coming through high school and how you balanced sports and academics and then even when you went to college.
Yeah, well, college is always fun and there's always something to do, always an activity every night, but you have to make your grades and your parents or whoever is paying a lot to be there, your scholarship, whatever. So you got to make your grades. There's no reason to be there if you're not going to, make your grades and graduate. So it's really important to maintain the good grades and, go to class and all of that. And then you'll eventually end up getting a good job and everything. So it ends up being worth it.
Tell folks what you're doing now.
I work for Kellogg's. I'm a senior analyst for them. So my office is actually in Rogers, but I get to work remotely. And then also I'm a boutique and embroidery business.
Tell them how they can find
I
that.
make Clinton hats, so hinkyswinkyboutique.com. We have all kinds of embroidery. So
Hinky Swinky Boutique. They can find it on Facebook.
Facebook, Instagram, all that.
All right. One last question for Haley. Did you learn more sports or more fishing from Dad?
Oh, gosh. I would say, I'm a pretty good fisherman. I learned both, though. He taught me a lot about softball and a lot about fishing, too. So 50-50, I'll say.
All right. That is former homecoming queen, Haley Hink. Thanks, Haley. I mentioned Haley's dad, uncle, they all played for the Yellow Jackets, football players. Up next, we're going to honor these guys on Friday night. They're going to have a big get-together about 5 o'clock before the game, and you'll see them at halftime. The undefeated 2005 Yellow Jacket football team is the 20th anniversary of that. And tonight we got QB1, Kelby Bonds. They always say the backup quarterback is the most popular person on the team. Apparently, Kelby is still popular as the QB1. So, got a lot of fans out there still.
Oh, yeah. Is it fans or hecklers?
As I said, Kelby was the quarterback on the 2005 team. He played from 2003 to 2005. I'm about to tell you, Kelby, most of our players out here in the audience, they were not yet born when you were doing your thing on the field. So we'll have to go slow here.
It was when you texted me and said 20 years, and then I told Adam, he's back there, and he's like, there ain't no way it's been 20 years. But then I remember my wife's 38, so that's gotta be it.
Well, one thing I told him earlier, these interviews are easy if you ask people about their kids or their sports playing days. So that's what we're going to talk a little bit of sports here. Leading into 2005, by the way, 2005 was the second undefeated season in Clinton history. You go back to 1970, they went 10-0 and then lost in the first round of the playoffs. And you guys went 10-0, and then you won the first ever playoff game in school history. So y'all were the first ever 11-win team. I think we've had a couple of those. We've had a 12-win team. But in your sophomore year, you went 1-9. In your junior year, you went 6-6. And then you go 11-1. Talk about the progression of that.
My sophomore year, by the way, the one win was against Heber Springs. And we knew
That's the only one that counts.
Yeah, we knew we were in trouble. And I don't know who all played for or knew Coach Gary Kling, but a man of pure wisdom, too. And I remember him laughing at us during two-a-days when Coach Dufresne, he lined us up, and we had an offense going, and we looked, and we had 8 sophomores on the offense. And he's back there laughing and having a good time with it, and he's like, "That's 8 losses, boys." And it was a brutal season. We got our heads kicked in, and then the next year, I think we played. There was probably a 4-game stretch there, or 3-game stretch that we lost 3 games by a total of like 6 points. And we were in the games, just didn't know how to win yet. And then we went to Nashville, and they showed us how to play ball a little bit. And then going into the senior year, we knew something was different, especially when we was playing 7-on-7 against some of these teams. And we was thumping them, and we was thumping them out of the wing tee. I mean, I remember Coach Doof, he was yelling at me to run my fakes out, with the handoff. You got 3 seconds, throw the ball. We're still faking it out, But we're running all over them. And I know Adam remembers we had a lot of physicality when we went to OBU that year. And we played some bigger schools, and the interior offense and defense, man, we pushed right back with them. And we knew right there it was going to be a good season.
I was going to mention that one win in 03 was against Heber, and you beat Heber all 3 years.
I did.
And,
it was fun.
You'll be glad to know no Clinton senior class since 2018 has lost a game to Heber, so you guys held all that tradition too. You won 4 out of your last 5 games in 04. That kind of set the stage for 05 because you got on a streak there, won 4 in a row, lost in the playoffs, but you got a taste of it.
Yeah. It did. It kind of set it, but really just the team that summer. I mean, they hit the weight room, and I say they because I mean the big guys, the guys up front. I just remember going in there and they're racking up 400, and I mean they hit the weight room hard that summer, and we come out, and I'm telling you, after the first football game, I think we went to Yellville that year, and we come out. And it was just easy. It was just easy. They wasn't even close to us, which was a very fun thing because the last 2 years they ran it up on us. I think it was my sophomore year. They threw a double reverse pass before halftime to run it up by 35. So we're up 46, and we're begging Coach to leave us in. And he's just being a good guy, And Adam remembers that, I know too. But it really set the tone that first game. When we realized how good we could be, there were still some hiccups, but it led that had a lot to do with it.
You start the season in 2005 with 3 blowouts: Yellville, Mountain View, and 28-0 over Heber Springs. Then you go to Clarksville, and you're down 14-0, I believe, at one point, and we've had 67 total yards of offense at halftime. Apparently, Coach Dufresne had a pretty good halftime speech because you come out the second half, we held Clarksville to 56 total yards in the second half. We cut the lead to 21-13. We scored a touchdown. We lined up to kick the extra point, and the snap was bad, and you took it from there.
It was pure luck, but Adam Fleming back there, I rolled out and just threw it up, and he caught it. It was no skill on my end, I promise.
That one point turned out to be big because the Jackets scored with 3 minutes to go, and they beat Clarksville 22-21. Then there were 2 more blowouts over Dover and Pottsville. Then, just like last week, Dardanelle. And the Jackets had a couple of touchdown passes dropped. They fumbled 4 times, but the defense stopped Dardanelle 7 times inside the 20-yard line. Khpq makes a big run, and we get a shot at a field goal on the final play of the game. Sounds familiar. This one came up a little bit short, but the game went into overtime, 0-0. Take it from there.
That game right there, and I know Coach would never say he did it. I think I know who did it, but Sunday morning in the paper, there was an ad that says, "Good team looking for an offense." And because we didn't show up. We had, like you said, we had 4 fumbles. We battled inside the 40 all night. It was 40-40. And then as the game got a little later, we kind of spread out. You started getting to the red zone, and it was just, we did not show up. But once again, our defense and our big guys, the push was on, and we just outlasted people. That's how we did it all year, just outlasted.
In overtime, Khpq scored on the 3rd play from scrimmage. We played 48 minutes with no points, and the game ended. We scored, missed the extra point. Billy Don Crow in the paper said it was a little bit controversial. So it's 6-0, but the Yellow Jacket defense goes out and stops Dardanelle on 4 straight plays.
I think it's kind of like those phantom holding calls we had to, call the touchdowns back, too.
So the Jackets win 6-0. Believe it or not, that's the last overtime game Clinton has played. That was 223 games ago. Then you run the table. You beat Atkins, Lamar, and Subiaco Academy. You finish the year 10-0. The town is on fire. And the Jackets go to the playoffs, never winning a playoff game. They've been before, but had never won a game. And we get to play the McGee Owls, which are down in South Arkansas. Still a good program. And the Owls came out flying. They led 29-7 with 1 minute and 28 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. 29-7 with 1 minute and 38 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. What are you thinking at that point?
That game right there, and I'm sure if anybody was there, I guess we just had more people go to church that last Sunday before, because you can't explain it. I think we started out with a long run that scored, and then we come into an onside kick, and it's the worst onside kick you see. The guy dives underneath it, ball ain't 2 foot above the ground, and we get it back, and we score again on a tipped ball, and then I think defense holds, we score again. And then
when it was 29-7, did you think it was over?
I don't.
You can talk now. It's 20 years later.
It's 20 years later.
Coach is okay now.
I don't know when I thought it was over, but I know halftime was it was pretty rowdy at halftime. You had a little life. The coaches they was throwing a little fire, but we come out in the same thing. But I'm going to say it was over.
Well, it was 29-7 with 1 minute 28 to go. Khpq ran for a 40-yard touchdown to make it 29-14, and Cody Shaver had a touchdown to make it 29-22 with 4 minutes and 4 seconds left. And then the most bizarre play of all time, maybe in high school football history. You talked about the bad onside kick. McGee recovered it, but the defense forced a 3-and-out. And tipped, we got the football back. You threw a pass, I think, just threw it up, and Blaine Galeese caught a tipped pass for a touchdown that made it McGee 29, Clinton 28. And then you decide to go for 2, Coach. Hey, we hadn't had one in 223 games. Talk about the 2-point play.
We didn't want to go into overtime. I'm with him, but the 2-point is a good call. I mean, everybody was with it. We had to push all night. I say all night. We had to push all second half. First half, we didn't do nothing. And we thought they made a good play. They got us. And at that time, we think it's over. How much time was left after that?
54 seconds. The 2-point play was no good, so we're down 29-28 with 54 seconds left. And then comes
Blake DeJesus kicking. We line up for a straight-up onside kick. There's no sneaking around about it. We've got the left side covered. And I don't know if anybody knows Jonathan Pruitt. but he's kind of crazy. And he's the guy, and it's like, you go get the ball. That's what you just tell him. You get the ball. I don't know if anybody's seen Replacements. Danny, get the ball. You know what I mean? So Blake makes probably the best onside kick we've ever seen. That ball is 10 foot in the air. He jumps up and gets it, and all of a sudden there's life again.
No timeouts.
No timeouts, but it didn't matter. We've already been doing the same thing. We're just going to go with it again, you know. We break the. I think Coach comes out and he calls the same play we've ran 3 times now. It's just a hitch, pump, and go. And I just tell Blaine when we leave the huddle, you know, like, it's coming. I mean, there was a safety stacked over the top and everything. It didn't matter. Everything was going our way. Pumped down the sideline, he catches it. And it wasn't a great throw, by the way. It was not a great throw. As I'm going down celebrating, I just remember seeing Coach Kling going, quack, quack. You know, we're having everybody else celebrating, you know, we're having a good time with it, and it was just a good time. But that put us up right there. That sealed the deal.
Yeah, the Kilby Bonds to Blaine Galeese pass with 44 seconds to go turned out to be the winner. I failed to really explain the bizarre play. After an onside kick that McGee recovered, McGee was leading 29-22. They got a 3 and out, and we got the football, and Kelby threw an interception.
Yeah, I was going to skip that part.
Kelby throws an interception, and tell them what happened. McGee catches the interception. All they got to do is fall down and run out the clock.
Once again, that poor guy, all he had to do is just knock it down. It's 4th and long. We're throwing a prayer. He caught it and took off running and then just drops the ball. Like, he just drops it, and I think Clinton Donahue jumps on it. And well, first of all, it's over. I mean, if he just catches the ball or knocks it down, it's a ball game. But bless his heart, he decides he wants to try to catch it and run it back, you know.
Yeah, it was on 4th down. Knock it down, catch it, get on the ground. The game's over. It's got to be one of the most bizarre plays ever. And then
the whole game.
Yeah, the perfect onside kick, that fumble turnover, but the Yellow Jackets rallied to win after being down 29-7 with 1:28 seconds to go in the third quarter. And that was Clinton's first ever playoff win, so it's pretty memorable. And if you were at the game, it's really memorable, all the stuff that happened. It had to happen right at the end for that to happen.
Right. I mean, we had family. I think they left, you know, at halftime. And then they're coming back, you know.
I see some heads nodding.
Yeah, you get some heads back. I think they left. I was wanting to go with them, I think, at the time.
But talk a little bit about this. I think this is Coach Jafran's 25th year, but I think you guys laid the foundation for the future that came. Championships in 2010, 16, 17, 18. We've now been on 10 straight trips to the playoffs, and we've beat Heber 10 years in a row. I think y'all laid the foundation for what came later.
Well, I think it just comes down to coach. I mean, you know, coaching is just like anything else. You're going to learn as you go, and coach come in here and he put a recipe together. It just, when he put his recipe together, he had 8 sophomores starting, you know what I mean? And it just don't work when you're that young and you don't have any upper class. I mean, from what I know, Coach, I've been watching you a long time. The recipe's staying the same. You just got the players in place now. You know, you got your big guys, the weight program, the motivation that he brings, just a leader of a man. That's the recipe. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. When you got a guy like that leading your program year after year after year, you come out with some good grown men. And by the time they're seniors, they're ready to hit you in the mouth and play football. And the young pups are just right behind them, and it's just stacked time and time again.
You've got a good perspective. You got a 20-year perspective here. Compare the young Coach DeFran to the coach now.
All right, so I wasn't going to say nothing about it, Coach, but I didn't know if it'd be a knock on me or a knock on the new guys, but Friday night we was at Dardanelle, and I was watching Coach, you know, games getting tight, and play, I don't know, he's looking at the play sheet, which it was pretty simple when I played. We had A, B, C, or D, you know, we was going. I seen him put the specs on to look at his play sheet. And I thought, man, this is going to be really, really good. It's going to be good. He can't see it, but it is. That's the only difference I see, Coach. That's the only difference I see.
You still got that passion. Just
Yeah,
has to have glasses now.
He's still got some fire to him. Like I said, most people don't get to see the fire. He's, calm, cool. His demeanor is on the field. It's good to go. I'm going to tell you, you go to the locker room down 29-7, you'll see the fire. You'll see it.
A lot of the folks in here don't remember Gary Kling, but he was like a volunteer assistant coach, former big lineman. Everything you hear, the players loved him. What's your favorite Gary Kling story? Can you narrow it down to one?
Oh, man. Listen, I'm going to just point it at me here. I'm not going to get on some of the stuff. If you got time, sometime hit me up. I'll tell you some Coach Kling stories. We love that man, and like I said, he was part of it. Like, he brought us all together. 2 quick stories. Was in 2-a-days. It's hot. I mean, just the guys we're dying. I mean, they're killing us. We're running. After practice, Coach Kling says, "Lineman, you ain't done." And he brings them out to run, I think, 20 more 10s. And all of a sudden, we're like, well, crap, we can't let them go alone. You know what I mean? And all he was doing was trying to bring the team together. He separated us to see if we'd come back together, and we did that summer. And it was just on after that. But the other one, the funny one, in my perspective here, the day Coach Dufresne gave me the red jersey was probably the worst thing that's ever happened to me. Because when I walked out of the locker room and practiced with the red jersey, if anybody knows Coach Kling and he gets them big old eyes and tells you how pretty you are, and he called it the pink panties. It wasn't the red jersey, it was the pink panties. And that's a good, clean, funny, solid story, Coach.
I think Coach Kling also had the fondness for the dump, they tell me.
Oh, listen. I don't know about it. Some of the older guys, I know I've seen a few. That dump hill will kill you. It will make a man out of anybody. And the day that gymnasium started getting built was probably the happiest day of our lives and the most miserable day of his. Until Coach bought the sled. I thought he was going to cry.
Well, before we get out of here, talk about, you've really helped us, the Booster Club and the school, getting with your teammates, and talk about how cool that's been, talking to some guys you haven't talked to in a long time.
Man, there was a few guys I hadn't talked to them in probably 15 to 18 years, right? And you just take a random call and think maybe that's still his number. And there was numerous of them that picked up, right away. And they said, we're on it. When do you want us to be there? And they're dying to see Coach. Like I said, it was a tight group. From 7th on, we was all together. Got to have some great conversations. And like I said, Coach didn't just build people on the field, he built guys off the field. Because some of the stories that I've heard, and one in particular, and I won't say his name, but man, I hadn't talked to him forever, and we carried on like we never left. And it's been 18 years ago, and he's doing fantastic.
Well, I can't let you go without getting your comments on this year's Yellow Jackets. I know you get out and watch a lot of the games, including the junior high.
Listen, I'm going to tell you, Friday night, and this is to the players, the coaches, whoever, we just watched a November game, a late November game in October. And we went toe-to-toe with the Mountain. We went to their house and gave them all they wanted. I know some might be upset because, we got that one loss, but, man, I'm going to tell you, it's on in November. We got the group of boys to do it, and it just depends on how they want to respond to it. It's pretty impressive to go. I never had to play nothing like that. Go to number 1 in the middle of the season. It's impressive to see what they did. It really is.
Well, you can see Khpq and a lot of his teammates Friday night. They'll be gathering around 5 o'clock, and they'll be hanging out there, and they'll also be on the field at halftime. So thanks, Khpq, for joining us tonight.
Thank y'all.
Khpq Bonds, QB1. Coach Dufresne up next. Coach Dufran, I know don't want to dwell on it too long. A tough loss on Friday night, but I know you got to be proud of the kids and the community. Talk a little bit about Friday night.
Friday night, I was super proud of the effort. I mean, you always want to come out with a win, but man, they laid it all on the line, and I was proud of the effort. It was a lot like, we never gave up. We were behind and found a way a couple times to score late and gave ourselves a chance to win. So I was super proud of the effort, and like I told them, I love them guys, and they laid it on the line for us.
Talk about the practice leading up to the game and the game plan you put in. It was a good one.
Well, I'm going to be honest. Coach Wilson and Benson had me a little bit nervous on Tuesday because our D-backs were all over our scout team guys, just holding them, grabbing them, wouldn't let them go anywhere. And, I was like, every time they throw it, we're going to get a penalty. And so I was and then Wednesday was, they have a great plan, and our secondary played outstanding. And it goes to Coach Benson and Wilson, and they did a great job, and our scout team did a good job getting us ready. So I don't think, they had a couple of big passes, but, man, that's kind of their MO is big plays, and we limit those. And I thought we went toe-to-toe with them, so super proud of them.
Yeah, your defense held Dardanelle, who averaged 41 points a game, below their average, and you held them to 128 yards passing and 0 touchdown passes. They had already thrown 13 touchdown passes and 950 yards already this year. They got 128 and 0 on Friday night.
Yeah, and really it started that first drive. I mean, we made them go a long ways, and it's a couple of fourth downs. We had chances to get off the field, but they don't like that, and I kind of frustrated them a little bit. So I thought we played really hard on defense. Our secondary, like I said, there's ways to improve. We talked about that today watching film. I think there was chances to even make it better. So we just got to keep improving, and hopefully we'll see them later.
Yeah, forced a couple of turnovers, a fumble recovery, a Sam Standridge pass interception. I believe Jay English had the fumble recovery.
Yes, sir. Those were big. I mean, gave us a chance right there at the end to win it. So I was happy about that. Man, it was close.
And I'll ask Jesse this when he gets over. How difficult is it to prepare for a quarterback who can run and throw, and he also has a couple of tall, elite receivers?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely difficult, and I thought our game plan was really good because of that. And I mean, you got to cover those guys, but yet he's going to run it, and not only him, they got dudes that going sideways that can run. I mean, they were super fast and athletic, and I thought we did a great job on that.
Talk about your offense. Every time Dardanelle scored, you had an answer for it. That first drive was Dardanelle. It took them 19 plays and 3 fourth down conversions to score. The defense fought them for every inch, but then the offense goes right back out there and answers.
Yeah, speaking of Coach Kling, he would have loved this offensive line because they play hard. They're nasty. They block super good, and one of Coach Kling's awards, I had to tone it down a little bit, but he always at the banquet would give a Pink Panties award for the lineman that was the softest. And you didn't want to get that award, so he would have loved these guys.
I don't think you can do that now, Coach.
No, we can't do that these days. Everything's online, but
yeah, so that's a different era. Before I get you out here, we'll talk a little bit about getting ready for this week, the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I mean, Dover's not very good, and our kids know that, but we got to prepare for the playoffs. That's what I told them today. I mean, we're getting better this week for weeks down the road, and we got to just work hard. We got to get better, and that's what the plan is. we picked a good one for homecoming this week, but there's so many distractions. I'm still going to be nervous when it comes Friday night because our head's going to be everywhere but where we need to be sometime.
Kelby, does that sound familiar? Even distracted back then. Let's bring up Jesse Wilson. Come on, Coach. Stay Wilson. I was going to say if you want to. You said it. Coach Wilson wanted to come in tonight. We got a spot for him. By the way, that's his good side, apparently.
I haven't been able to hear very well lately, so.
By the way, Coach Wilson is known as Mr. Jesse here at Locos, so you've been here a time or two.
I can't hear you.
Talk about your secondary.
Oh my gosh, they were dogs. I've never been more proud of a unit. I've had a lot of really good groups over the years, but I have never seen that much fight from the very beginning to the very end against guys that make it look easy against other people.
Yeah, I was going to say they came in already through 4 games. They'd already thrown 13 touchdown passes. You kept them to 128 yards and nothing. Was there a little different plan this week? Anything you did differently than you don't normally do?
We got really physical, like Coach Dufresne was talking about. On Tuesday, they had to do push-ups if they had the opportunity to get a flag, and they didn't. So we went beyond what was necessary, and then the next day we scaled it back, and then we tried to find the middle ground on Friday and do what was necessary.
I don't even remember. Was there a pass interference on Friday?
No.
I don't remember one.
There was not a holding. There was not a pass interference. It was less than 50% completion rate, and like you said, no touchdowns and 1 interception.
Talk about having to play. It kind of reminded me, we used to play Harding Academy, and they'd roll in here with those 6'5" receivers. Talk about playing really tall receivers, because Darnell had 2 of them.
You have to get in their face. I think that our guys got in their heads, and I think that really surprised them because they're used to making it look easy, and they did not look comfortable all night. They tried picking on Colton, didn't work. They tried picking on Cullum, and it didn't work. And they tried picking on McCarver, didn't work. Tried picking on Harold, didn't work. Tried staying away from Sam, and it didn't work.
Yeah, Sam kind of swooped in there like a center fielder and made a big interception. Talk a little bit about, you also coach the receivers too, and you really got some good receivers this year with sure hands. They made a couple of incredible catches Friday night. One by Colton off a couple of tips, and Sam had one on the go route.
They have great concentration, and they attack the football high. They attack it square to the ball instead of catching it over their shoulders like this. They square up to it, and therefore they can use their shoulders to help them make the catch, knock the defender off.
And you got a lot of veteran receivers too. Looks like they really run really sharp routes.
Yeah, lots and lots of 7-on-7 over the summer. They get a lot of reps doing that, and that helps.
We talked a little bit today on the phone. Talk about the guys that helped you prep the secondary this week. I know they were definitely unsung heroes this week.
Okay, I got to do some shout-outs. So anybody who watched the game sees what they did out there, and it was pretty awesome. But there's a lot of things that people don't know of what others do to make it possible. We have Gavin Reeves, Will Tumbleson, Colson Clute, Connor Bonds, Colin Swan, Gabe Henry, Wyatt Dunn, running routes on him all week. Did an awesome job. There are 2 guys, though. One of them acted as Dardanelle's number 6, and the other one acted as Dardanelle's number 8, and that was Cooper Watley and Brick Jebbins. And I thought Tuesday we were going to end up having a fight between one of them and one of the secondary guys, because they were just getting beat up, and despite that, they were making plays on our guys that Dardanelle was not able to. So, in other words, they were working so hard, and there is absolutely no way we could have been able to do that on Friday had it not been for them. It was all week long.
Yeah, and I'll hear Coach Benson talk about that too. Those scout team players are so valuable for a good football team. Anything else? I'm not sure if I should say that with Jesse with a live microphone. Anything else?
Yeah, no, I'm good.
We'll see him and Mrs. Coach Wilson when track rolls around and on the show. And, of course, you want to get your tickets early for the sports banquet to get more of this. That's what he puts on his best show. Thanks, Coach Wilson. We'll see you next Friday night. Let's get our secondary guys up here before we run out of time. We got Colton Warren, Sam Standridge, Briar Cullum, Harold McNabb, Caleb Carver, maybe Braden Venable. Braden, make it. This was the crew. They were the First Arkansas Bank and Trust players of the game. We've had, over the years, the offensive line be the player of the game. One time we had Coach Smith be the player of the game, but he's told us never to do that again because all of his college buddies called him and made fun of him. So, but this is the First Arkansas Bank and Trust players of the game for this week in the secondary. Just thoughts, Colton, on going into the game, the thought process, because you knew you had a basically a Division I quarterback throw into a couple of 6'5" receivers.
Well, I mean, at first, I was really confused with Coach Wilson on our game plan. I was like, you know, they throw it a lot, and we're going to get a bunch of flags thrown on us. And I was like, they're just going to, you know, get 15 yards down the field each time. And then the next day, he was like, all right, let's tone it down. Let's find our happy medium. And I was like, oh, thank goodness, you know. Like, I was like, I like that a lot better. But I definitely think, like, us, I think we were all a little bit confused, but we had that trust in our coaches. And, I mean, us doing that, I think, really helped us. And, like, all of our teammates pushing us, like, them running their routes as hard as they could, it definitely made it more game-like and just their speed. That, I mean, they didn't really have, like, the height, but, I mean, the speed was a main factor that really helped us. And I think that was probably the biggest thing for me, like, in the secondary for me, like, preparing this week is them running them routes as hard as they can and just allowing us to be able to guard them the best that we can.
Briar, your thoughts?
Well, you know, starting out when we were getting really physical at practice, I was getting pretty excited. And then he told us to tone it down. And I was like, oh, no, these guys are going to catch it on me. And then it ended up being not as hard as we thought it was going to be. And we ended up playing pretty good defense and stopping them on the pass.
Briar has become a really sure tackler. And don't really understand how difficult it is to tackle somebody in the open field. And Briar does a great job of that. The other night, you know, it made some catches short. You come up and made the tackle. Talk about the ability to tackle somebody in space.
Well, you know, you just got to want to be able to hit them. It's just kind of a mindset thing. It don't really matter how small you are as long as you want to put them on the ground.
Yeah, those yards after catch are the really big ones. And Jesse's secondary really has limited the yards after a catch to almost nothing. Sam, your thoughts on going into the game?
Kind of like what Colton said. I was kind of confused at the beginning of the week with our game plan, but
Seems to be a trend here, Coach.
Us getting really physical at practice is fun, to be honest. Watching each other get mad at each other and learning, but it ended up working out, and we played as best we could.
Can't let you go without talking about the interception. That was really big. That got us a great field position, I think, at the 27-yard line. Looked like you were a safety over the top, and looked like you saw that coming all the way, almost like a center fielder. Talk about the interception.
Well, I couldn't do it without my coaches putting me in that position, trust me to go out there and read the play, but I just went and did it.
It seemed like you saw it all the way, but Creed Vega didn't see you.
Yes, sir.
Talk about the touchdown catch too. Kind of looked like maybe you'd set up maybe for that bubble screen again, but then you took off on a go route, and the guy was right behind you. Talk about the catch.
I mean, Brody put it in a perfect spot, and we ran it in and scored it. That's really all I got to say about that.
Good enough. Caleb, talk about the work in the secondary.
Being physical all week, and then having to tone it down and just work on technique is really like a main factor of how good we played Friday. Being able to trust everybody and, being as one, it really helps, especially with how close everybody is and our connection. So,
talk about now, Caleb got us great field position several times on kickoff returns. Talk about your knack of being able to get upfield against a pretty speedy Dardanelle team, but you got us a great field position on every kickoff.
Yes, sir. Being able to trust your team to block for you and, just looking upfield and finding a hole.
Harold, your thoughts on defense?
Well, like Monday when we were watching film 7th period and got told the game plan, I had no idea what we were doing. And even watching like coach draw it on the board, it was just confusing until we got out there and saw it in person really. And just as the week went on, we got better and physical and just got our minds right.
Talk about on offense, also all you guys go both ways. Talk about how difficult it was to run against Dardanelle.
It was rough. I mean, getting the ball and turning up and seeing like 4 or 5 guys right there, you didn't really know which way to go but forward. And it was painful.
Yeah, Jackets did have 303 yards of total offense. I think Dardanelle only had like 330, so that was almost even with the total offense. I'll have to say when I think his first was Zach Hunt Gonzalez went down with the cramps, then Harold went down with the cramps. As soon as Harold went down, my phone buzzed. I looked down at the phone, and it's Dr. Coward, and Dr. Coward says, "Tell him to get pickle juice on the sideline now." So Doc was watching and sending some advice there. But it was a heck of a game, guys. Somebody just talked about the atmosphere. The Clinton crowd was phenomenal. Anybody wanted to talk about what it felt like to be on the field in an atmosphere like that?
Yeah, well, I mean, it was the biggest game of the year, obviously. Community, as you can tell from right here, this is huge right now. And then especially an away game, just seeing that many people, just seeing everybody there to support us, it definitely makes you feel like you got more than just yourself to play for. You got a community, you got family, friends, everybody there. It's just something really cool. And then, even when you're bad play goes or whatever, you still see them cheering you on no matter what's happening. And then especially when a big play happens, just hearing everybody, and then sometimes if you're not really in the play, you can kind of take a glimpse and just see everybody cheering. I feel like that's just a really special moment.
I think Jeff's over. I think we had over 3,000 views.
We had 3,600 at about 10:30 on Friday night, combined Facebook and YouTube, that at some point viewed or watched the game, 3,600, and then by Sunday night, 48 hours later, we were up over 5,600 or 6,000.
Wow, that's how many, over 6,000 views. We hadn't anything like that since the senior girls spent a couple of days state tournament at Harrison City, and then we had 3,500 some of those nights. But yeah, it was 6,000 views, phenomenal. Mr. Bob had family in Indiana, I think, watching. You probably had family in South Carolina maybe watching. And so the support is phenomenal. We didn't really mention that maybe in the most covered game in Yellow Jacket history. It was a live stream by us and the Arkansas Sports Network. The Buzz carried the game on the radio statewide. Channel 16 was there. Channel 7 was there. We think that's probably the most media coverage we've ever had. So it was you guys made it quite a show. And so this is our first Arkansas Bank and Trust Players of the Game, the secondary. Thanks, guys. Briar Cullum, Colton Warren, Sam Standridge, Caleb McCarver, and Harold McNabb. They'll be back on Friday night for homecoming. I think it's time for the Farm Bureau door prizes. Sorry we held you a little bit long, but this has been a really good show tonight. A lot of great guests. Melanie is ready. Oh, sorry, Kara's ready. Mike's not ready, but Kara is. course, she didn't show last week. That's probably what threw us off. All right, get your tickets ready. 300-7577. Do we have a winner? Oh, there we go, William. There's your lunchbox for school, William. We got these great, do we call them tumblers or cups? Tumblers with a Clinton Yellow Jacket on there. 300-7551. 7551. Hey. There you go. Oh. Jamie Brown's a winner. One more. Pull it out. Oh, I got to pull it out. We got one more tumbler. 300-7566. Finley's a winner. Finley Newland's a winner. What a great time. It keeps getting bigger and better every week. Thanks for everybody for coming out. Hey, Sam, I think it's your grandpa's birthday? It was yesterday? I think, Sam, should we sing it? Here we go. Sam's grandpa's birthday. Mr. Steve. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Miss Steve. Happy birthday to you. All right. They got Lacey. Thought we had to get you. We'll see you Friday night. Let's go, Jackets.